I'm not sure if this is gonna make it to YouTube because it is a Mexico day. It's an early morning. See what we got? 720, GTR, Hellcat. You know what we're doing this morning. Anyway, let's jump into it. Got out the spark plugs for the majority. Spark plugs all look good. They all look fine. So, which leads me to one step closer to thinking that we got a broken rocker. Well, my M2Fers, so your boy did not give up. Got the valve covers off on this side, completely fine. Got the valve covers off on this side, completely fine. What I did learn though, is that I'm a little bit of an idiot. This is the odd side, that is the even side. So I started with the side that wasn't showing a misfire. I should have started with this side, but I'm an idiot. It is what it is. It happens, but there you go, guys. That's what the inside of the under the valve covers looks like for these cars. You know, for a car that got 50,000 miles though, this looks good, like really good. So this is what actually happened. We had another catastrophic spark plug failure again, dogs. So as you guys can see, another spark plug close situation. As you can see, the piston looked like it hit the spark plug, slapped it closed. Not sure what that's happening, but I keep having spark plug failures, which tells me that the issue is something deeper. Not quite sure what, but that's really bad. At least we know what it is. We'll change these plugs. We'll do this next event on Friday. Hopefully it makes it through the event. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, and we make it through the event. And then what we'll do is we'll eventually pull the motor and take off the heads, make sure everything is good, because it's not making sense why the spark plugs keep blowing or getting fouled out and having these issues of detonation that's causing that. All right guys, so just as a quick reminder of why we need to look at the cylinder walls. If you look at the spark plugs, they definitely look like they made contact with something. That something can only really be the piston. So we want to look at the piston and see if it made contact. If it made contact, then there's metal shavings. We're in a bad way, guys. So this is when we find out if we really F something up and really blew the motor. The way that we're gonna do that is this metal scope right here. This little thing is a camera, and I'm gonna pass this down the holes, down the spark plug holes, right? So we'll start out with the one that had the most damaged spark plugs, which is that guy back here, lucky number 7. Or in my case, it might be unlucky number 7. Let's pass it down there and see. Going in, and as it goes in, we can look here and see what it sees. So as it gets ready to go down, we're gonna watch this scope right here and see what we can see, okay? I gotta reposition this to get it to go up, but we can see down. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. Y'all see that? That's my piston. That is my piston, and it is fucked. Yes, sir. Let me cut the light down. You see that, guys? That's the piston, and that shit is chewed, bro. They don't look broke, but that means that there will be metal shavings from the piston in the motor. So let's go to cylinder number 5, and what we're gonna look for is the same amount of damage or metal shavings. So this is cylinder number 5. I gotta reposition it, so give me a second while I do that. All right, let's go down in the cylinder. Oh! Those are metal shavings, guys. There's 100% metal shavings in there, 100%. I'm turning it to turn the camera. But yeah, those are definitely metal shavings in there. See that? See how that one right there? That is exactly what that is. Damn! Wow, bro. Wow. This is cylinder number 3. Let's see if we see any metal shavings in here. No, it looks clean. Cylinder number 1. Alright, here's cylinder number 1. Sorry for the cussing, but I can imagine my frustration. Alright, let's check the other cylinders. I mean, not that it matters, motor gotta come out. Alright, so this is cylinder number 2 on the other side, on the other bank. And as you guys can see, that's what it should look like. Nice and clean is what it should look like. Yo, guys, I swear, I didn't want to make this. I was hoping, look, I gotta eat my troubles away. Give me a second. Hey, let me get a 4 for 4.
What, sorry?
A 4 for 4 junior cheese deluxe.
Junior cheeseburger deluxe?
No pickle.
4 for 4 junior cheeseburger deluxe, no pickles?
Yeah, strawberry lemonade for the drink.
Anything else?
That's it.
Next window, thank you.
What do you call this? It's not, you know, is it a blown? It's not a blown motor, right? So don't worry about the title of the video. You know, that was to get y'all here, but it is pretty much one of the things where the motor has to come out. So same thing, right? The motor got to come out because I got 1 or 2 options here. Either I change the short block completely by putting in a different one so that I can get rid of that, or I change the piston, re-hone or hone the cylinder walls if they're not too damaged, which I don't think they are. Thank you. Thank you. So like I was saying, so I don't, those are my options right now. That's what I have to do. To tell you guys the truth, man, how this makes me feel, I don't know. I'm like kind of numb right now. I'm kind of numb. The car has been absolutely amazing across the board. I haven't really had any issues with the car. It's not, I mean, the issues that I have had have all been small things, but the car performs really well. It's a really fast car. Unfortunately, it wasn't fast for long. Oh, shit, man. God, yo, I'm sick right now, yo. I'm sick right now, bro. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. Your boy is sick right now, like. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what happened. It appears to me that, I don't know if it was this time or the time previous. There was a time before where, before I put in the McLeod clutch, when I had a stock clutch, whenever the clutch would get hot, it would lock me out of gear and it wouldn't let me go into the next gear. On a race that I was having against a very built modified ZL1, which I'm telling you I would have got him, I went to go to the next gear. I think it was from 2nd to 3rd. I went to go to 3rd, 3rd wasn't there, and I punched the throttle, right? Because I'm doing it so quickly that I'm assuming it's in the next gear. Well, it wasn't. Punched the throttle, bounced off the rev limiter a couple times, and at that point, it went into the same thing, misfire. But this was the first time it ever happened that I ever had like this misfire issue. And when we pulled the plugs, 2 of the spark plugs the same way were closed. I don't remember those plugs though being like as chewed up as these were. So I think that was the first time that it actually happened. In, I don't know if the wrist pin for the piston is allowing the piston to float a little bit to the point that it can reach the spark plugs. The piston is not supposed to go that high. That being said, I had my rev limiter set to, when that happened, I had my rev limiter set to about 7,100. So we were revving the hell out of the motor, right? So I think when I, you know, just matted the throttle, it was, bah, 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 bah. When that happened, I think that was the first time, and that's what actually caused the initial damage. But we kept going with the car, right? We changed the spark plugs, and the car seemed like it ran fine, ran great. Until Brooks came, right, from drag times, and it happened again. it blew out 2 spark plugs. It's like, whoa, but this time it didn't close like the electrode, or it didn't close it. It just like left like a black mark on them, which I showed y'all in the previous video. So this time when I went out this last time, and like you saw in the last video, I didn't over rev. I didn't do none of that. It spun, but it didn't like over rev or nothing. It didn't over rev the second time either. So I think whatever the damage happened that first time kept causing this problem to reoccur. And it was getting worse and worse until this time where the piston really grabbed that spark plug and beat it up. And it beat up the piston. So there you have it, guys, man. That's what happened. Are we gonna, you know, come back bigger, stronger, better? Absolutely. In the future videos that you're gonna see, you'll see us repairing it, pulling the motor. Team Hellcat, they are on it, man. Team Hellcat, in-track tire. They are the ones that are working on the car. And I'll get the car towed over there out of my garage. It makes no sense putting it back together. I'm going to put all my little bolts and in Ziploc bags and label it perfectly. And I will be there for the time of reassembly so that I can be like, oh, this was here, this was here. And they know the car. So I'm not worried about that. Biggest question is, do you leave it the same or now do you build a motor? So I'm going to leave that up to you guys. You guys tell me what you want to see. You want to see me build a motor, or, you know, should I just throw it back the way it was and stick to, you know, that 850 to 900 wheels? So 850 or 840 or so driving around regular, and then when it's time to turn it up, 900 for racing. There's a lot of cars rolling around at this power level. You know, all of them manual? Absolutely not. Manual transmission makes a big difference in how the torque comes in, the delivery, and the mistakes that, you know, like I made. That being said, my rev limiter, we did lower it back down to like, I think it's at like 68 now, and I shift at about 66. So, I don't know. That's better. All right, guys. I'm going to go home and go to sleep now, because sometimes that's what you do when hit the fan. But until the next one, is your boy Steph here from Mod2Fame. And, you know, this is part of racing. This is the game. This is how it goes. We out. We out.